Brian, Amanda, Joe, I am super excited today. Do you know why?
Why is that?
Because Nancy Drew, Midnight in Salem, came out this week.
Woo!
Wow,
And
finally.
that has inspired us, the Taste of Dragons podcast crew, to start a brand new segment called Drew's News. Where every week we're going to play maybe like a half an hour or more, who knows. We're going to play some.
Yeah.
And then we're going to update you all on our experiences with it, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know, the Drew's News update.
We're all Drewbies.
Ruby Drooby Drew.
Nancy Drew newbies. We have not played any of these games before, and I didn't notice until I opened the game that this is game number like 45. There are so many of these games.
Do you know how many games there are?
1,000. However, this is also the first game that's come out in 5 years. So
Really?
People have been anticipating this game.
Wow, the game that I played took 5 years to make?
Sure, we'll go with that.
Okay, yeah.
In between games, the last one that released was 2014.
Wowzer. So hotly anticipated game. What are your initial impressions of the game so far?
Well, for mine, I was not expecting much.
Okay.
To be honest with you, they're Nancy Drew games, which are
Right.
normally like just point and clicks and whatnot.
Yeah.
I didn't think most people were anticipating this myself. However, I
What,
looked
the game
on
to come out?
the game to come out. Yeah. However, when I looked on Steam to buy it, it was ranked 5th for popularity and selling.
yeah.
So people are definitely anticipating this. So that was my first thought in this. Was,
Okay.
oh, there are people who want to play this.
All right. Mandy, have you played a Nancy Drew game before?
I've not played a Nancy Drew game before, but I have played a handful of Sherlock Holmes games, which are like Nancy Drew games, and
Puzzlers.
Leighton games. So I have a puzzly
And-
game brain.
And what games? Leighton?
Yeah, Professor
Professor
Leighton.
Leighton?
Yeah.
Cool.
Fair enough.
I think this game, my first impression is like, I didn't really understand what the draw is to this game, but I am very into finding out. Like,
Yes.
I am all for playing this Nancy Drew game from start to finish. This may be like the Fast and Furious of video games, where at first you're like, I don't know if this is my tea or my bag. My tea. Oh, this is my tea. I'm not really into cars, but by like, hour 5, you're like, ride or die. So maybe this will be like Clue or
Drew.
Drew or Clue?
Drew or Clue.
Drew or Clue.
Yeah.
So I hope to be like that, because that seems to be what the fan base is. They are
Yeah.
awesome, dedicated
Yeah.
Nancy Drew fans out there, and I want to become a Drewite. Is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Sure.
You upgrade from Drewby to Drewite.
A Nancy file.
Ooh.
Okay. I'm just throwing them out here.
You know,
Just throwing them out.
We don't know. But we absolutely did not pre-plan this.
But this Nancy Drew will also come with another segment, which will be clips of us actually playing the game. It'll be Mandy and I playing together, and Joe and Brian playing together, and we're going to splice them together to make a whole new feature. We're going to milk this Nancy Drew game for every clue it's worth.
Yeah. So, so how was it starting off for you guys? What did you guys choose? You guys choose amateur or master?
I was very curious to go master because I don't know what that means. It's
Yeah.
not a combat game, so I don't have to worry about like getting hurt.
Mm-hmm.
It's a puzzle. It's a riddle game, so like maybe there's less hints. I didn't find any hints in the little bit that we played.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we did choose amateur, so.
So we went amateur.
Yeah. Same here. We did a coin flip.
Wow. We let fate decide.
Fate decided amateur.
Wow. Are you going to let fate decide who murdered the people?
What? No one's died.
What?
What
This
game
has to
are
be
you
about death,
playing?
right?
I'm a little worried about my co-pilot.
Wait, there's no murder in this?
No one's died. They stole the book.
Oh. Yeah, but
Ooh.
Hey, what are you doing?
Oh no,
What?
Dorito got
Look,
it.
they took the book.
yeah, but I'm thinking there's going to be murder,
There's arson
solved.
and theft so far.
Yeah.
and nobody died in that fire
Oh.
that
Don't
we
know
know
yet.
of.
No. The family had to move out, but there was, so far as we know, half hour in, no one's died.
Yeah.
yet.
It's midnight in Salem, not murder in Salem.
I'll take another 5 years to come out.
Yeah.
I like the puzzles so far. They weren't very hard.
No.
But we were playing on amateur, so maybe they would have been hard. But they've been very much like look around the screen and click a bunch until you figure out the thing.
It won't open because there's a bunch of books on top of it.
An old chest,
Okay.
but it won't open. But that's not
There's a little thing right here. What? It's like a pinhole.
Why would they let you see it if you can't?
I thought it was going to be the key. That's interesting.
Or like a button that opens it?
Or like I need like a clothespin to put in there. Oh, wait.
Oh, there's scratch marks under that one.
Does that mean I can do something with it?
Click the other button.
Ah!
Click right mouse button on an inventory item to inspect it.
Uh-huh.
Ooh.
Click on items.
Ah!
Oh! It's a transformer.
Can you close it again?
Nope.
Boo.
One time only. Alright. Sweet. Key.
locked.
Yeah, okay.
You figure out the thing. Or like there's only 12 things in the room and you basically the key goes in the keyhole type of puzzle. But I'm hoping as it moves forward they get a little more difficult. There's a little more brain power required.
I'm sure they will.
I'm less into, like, I'm into the riddles, that's sure and fun and everything, but I really want to know more about these characters. Deidre, her best friend,
Yeah.
she starts off by saying, I know we haven't talked in a while. Why? What happened between those two, huh?
I know.
Tell me what happened.
I think that was just a play on there not being a game for 5 years.
I also think that they had a relationship in the 90 other games that we didn't play that we may not know about. But
Yeah.
I'm with you. I like.
I want to know what happened.
I think it was just a play. Me personally, I just think it was a play on words. Like, oh, yeah, we haven't talked in a while.
Breaking that fourth
You
wall.
know, like 5 years or so.
Yeah. So how old do you think Nancy is in this game?
I think she's supposed to be 14.
What?
No.
No.
She's got to be early
Deidre's
20s.
driving.
Yeah?
She's got to
She
be
went to-
early 20s.
She went to Austria by herself.
So what?
She's definitely like 20.
I'm going 14.
She has a bad father then.
Well, I mean, that's established in the series.
I think that they've made a bunch of games and by now she's older.
Yeah.
Or
Maybe she
she's
was 14.
Or it's like Pokemon, just stays age
No.
10 the entire
No,
time.
she has to be older because her friend who's angry at her treats her like a peer. And if that lady's 20 and she's 14, then she's just a terrible person.
We're also assuming that her friend is 20.
Yeah.
She looks 20, she talks 20. I think she's 20,
She owns
but
a
no
car.
one's told us.
She drives a car. Her cousin's in trouble. She left her life to go help her younger cousin who's in trouble. She's definitely not like 17. If she's 17, then the developers have never met a 17-year-old.
I'm still going 14. That's probably.
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
a very good detective.
Did she mention Fortnite? You tell me.
Yeah,
That's the real mystery of the game. Ooh.
it is. Ooh. I did like the running when you're trying to run after the guy. It's just click,
Click, click, click, click, click.
click.
I'm a good
Oh,
runner.
Hey, I found him. Oh, he's running again. Click, click, click.
Do we want to set up a bit of what's happening or what happened or a synopsis of our mystery sleuthing so far?
Sure. I'll start off with what you beginning in a room.
I didn't expect to move. All right. And clickety click. Ah, let there be light.
Ah, much
Oh,
better.
Is that a Bible
What a
reference?
wonderful view.
What? All right. Right click mouse button to look around.
Oh, do you hold it down and drag to look around?
Ah, yes, it does.
Sweet.
We got a little table here. A little window.
Oh, great.
Lots of dialogue. Very dialogue-y game.
Prison cell.
Just a room. You have to figure out what's going on. I told Joe that I felt like a Titanic situation because the lady was like, I'm stuck on the other side. Meanwhile, that lady could easily fit through that door.
Yes. Well, she
Like-
wasn't stuck. She just wasn't coming.
She just wasn't coming in. I'm going when she was stuck. It's my headcanon.
I'm worried about how much you've taken away from this game, Brad.
Well, there was one portion of it when I was trying to click around the room, but the lady was talking, and I didn't realize I was skipping dialogue every single time I clicked. So that was interesting. But you start off in the room, you're trying to figure out, you're just trying to find a book.
Yes.
The book of
Apologies.
Apologies.
Oh, Sorry, wrong book.
I said the
What'd you
same
say?
thing.
Oh,
I thought it was covered in gold and buried at the base of Anubis.
Look like a Necronomicon.
He's apologizing to you for getting it wrong. But the book of apologies, you're looking for it. You find it. The lady tells you to grab it before you leave. You just decide to leave without it. And then you turn around. There's a ninja in the room.
You didn't decide to leave without it. It was in a box that was somehow attached to the desk, and you didn't have the key. So the lady's like, just come to my workshop in town, and I'll totally help you fix it. And then you turn around, and there's a ninja stealing the book, and I think it's the lady. I'm putting it out on the internet right now that I will be wrong later, but I think it's that lady who's totally like, leave the book unattended, come outside with the sound of my voice, and then I'm not there, and then the book's gone.
Dang, you're not wrong. And when you call your dad, he talks about how he met this lady and how it's like an acquaintance of his.
She's a descendant of the
of
guy
the
who
judge
wrote the book,
or
judge.
something.
Yeah.
But she wants the book anyway. Like, you're gonna take it to give it to her already. That was kind of the point.
No, you're bringing the book with you. Your dad wanted you to pick up the book for insert story reason. He doesn't know what to say.
All right then. Yeah,
it's
it's definitely Carla.
Like yeah. Definitely. Although I did find it interesting that the first puzzle could have just been solved with an axe. Like
Axe?
yeah, you could have just chopped up the
It's
desk.
an ancient desk.
But the question is, how are you gonna find that axe?
You're right.
Yeah,
You're right.
you have to go to her workshop in town.
There's
to
probably
get the
a
axe.
key in order to open it up.
Oh, you mean an axe to get the box out
to
of
get the box out of the thing. Like-
yeah, but it's a very pretty desk.
Oh, it is absolutely.
But you chase the ninja outside, and he jumps out of a window. She jumps out of a window, and then like you don't go out the window. And I was like, wait, but he just jumped out of the window. Like he's so far ahead now, and you would have caught him if you had also gone in the window.
I was controlling the character, and so like I ran out the door, and Mandy was like, "Hey, jump out the window." And then I was like, "Oh, it totally break my legs." But then after, when you're chasing the ninja on the bridge, you jump off the bridge.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, my knees would have been fine."
Yeah.
I did think it was cool as you're running away, you pass the window he jumped out of, and you see that the hill goes up, so it looks like it's further down, but he jumped on. So they did like, not
They
they
thought about
retconned
it.
it, but they did explain like, hey,
Continuity.
he didn't kill himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you lose him. I guess he just gives up in Austria because he like Naruto's his way out of there with the smoke bomb.
Yes. You don't lose him.
Smoke
you get a
can.
phone call from your friend Deidre, who's like, oh.
Avi, he's not there anymore.
It was also interesting to me, like, so the ticket you find, which is like a half a ticket or whatever, is a first class ticket.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he's got a homemade Coke can smoke bomb.
It's a first class ticket, right?
Yeah.
It has the time of his departure and his seat number on it.
Yeah. There's no mystery.
Troy did fix it. He's like, well, obviously he realized he dropped his ticket and he bought he's on a different flight, also going to Boston.
Oh,
but I
yeah.
was just like, mystery solved. Go, get on that flight.
Well,
Look
there's
at seat 3D.
there's a blackout transition between that moment and her going to Boston, to Salem. And so in that little blackout moment, I'm just going to write my own fiction that she did do good clue work and go to the airport, check the seat number, or like ask, to see if she get a new one, check the airline or that area of someone that would match the description, the same weight and height. Maybe even purchase a ticket. She's rich enough going to Austria.
Yeah.
The ninja's ticket was 3D, in 3D. Get 4D. See what happens. What happens. Get any flight on that. It'd be fine. You're going to Boston anyway.
She definitely buys 4D, and then like a really like old lady comes and sits next to her, and then she's like, oh. That's what would happen in the movie.
It just was one of those like, but first class ticket, but a homemade smoke bomb. All right, sure. Let's go with that. And then also, she's also a detective. She could definitely sleuth her way to call the airlines and like find out, all right, what's the name of the person who purchased this ticket?
No way
That
an airline's
blackout.
going to tell you the name of that person.
She's Nancy Drew.
There's
She's
no
got a
way
name.
an airline is going to tell a 14-year-old.
An Austrian airlines will, though.
Just think that all happened in that blackout. That happened.
No,
it
I'm
all
sure it
happened.
did. I'm
It
sure it
did.
did.
It did happen.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
what
you're
happened
right.
in
It
that
did
blackout.
happen. It
And it didn't work, and now she's in Boston.
All right. So then your friend picks you up and drives you to her house and explains the entire exposition. And then
Her cousin is wanted for arson.
Yes.
And she's like, but my cousin didn't do it. She's weird, but she wouldn't burn something down. And then that's it. It's like a 10-minute conversation, but that's the gist of it.
It is.
Nothing else is really important.
Yeah.
Yet.
The graphics in that segment were very Sims 3 to me. There's like no shading on her. There's no nothing. It's just like a face.
We spent a lot of time looking around the car. It's a very nice car.
Yes.
Obviously Nancy's rich because she can globetrot, but obviously Deirdre's rich because she's got a dope car.
Oh yeah. And then you arrive at the house. You talk with with May, who's the cousin, right?
Yes.
Edgy.
Yes.
And yeah, very edgy. Like she's like, "Oh, I'm so happy to see you," and then just walks away.
Yeah.
Intrigue.
Yeah.
They're really trying to pin the arson of the house you drive by on May, and it obviously cannot be May. Obvi.
But it's gonna be May.
That was good. I'm with him. I'm
No,
convinced.
it's not.
I'm convinced.
Oh,
now.
the whole time we were playing, he's like, it can't be May because May has ice powers, and this was clearly a case of arson. And all Brian has to do is make one in sync reference,
yeah.
and he's
Works for me.
totally on board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she has fiery pants. Obviously, she's an arsonist.
It's a tree, not fire.
Is it? It's a red tree. Red and orange tree.
This family is also very rich. They have a very nice house. And she was like, "Oh man, the kids had a lot of problems growing up," and I was like, "Oh man, they must be like having troubles." And then I got to the house and I was like, "What problems do they have? They have a beautiful home. It's like a lovely kitchen. It's got like a kitchen nook in it, and then there's like a living room downstairs, and there's like a full upstairs. It's beautiful." And I was like,
I looked
"No,
at
no, no,
all
no,
the pictures in the house. None of them are of the people
You
or the
haven't been in
kids.
the living room,
No, we stopped at the
right?
table.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are you playing more than me?
What? No.
And then the parents are on safari in Namibia, so they
Oh,
definitely
really?
have money.
Yeah.
Yeah. She
Yeah.
tells you that
Yeah.
when you walk in.
Okay, well, so they're rich.
Yeah.
Okay.
they're rich. So then we stopped shortly after that. So we'll find out where the story leads.
Yeah, I'm curious. Do you have any assumptions? I've already stated my theory. Do you have a theory?
I think you are probably correct with it's probably that lady or somebody attached to the lady at the very beginning, and then the person who set fire to the house. It's gotta be May. Like it's just gotta be her. I mean, it's probably not, but I'm just gonna go with my headcanon. That's who it is.
Troy, do you have a theory?
The car did it.
Oh, Christine.
Christine. It got Christine. I mean, they're both. Like, Nancy Drew's a book. Christine is a book. Or do I have to draw the rest of the connections here? I didn't think
Christine's
so.
a book?
Yeah.
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 Stephen
Stephen
King.
King.
Stephen
Oh, I
King.
don't. Yeah, I don't know.
Murder car. It's silly.
Because there's murder in this game. Hasn't happened yet, but you just wait. It'll happen.
There's a lot of murder, actually. You're looking for a book of apologies of a lot of murdered ladies.
Yeah.
true.
Just saying,
Yeah.
there's a ton of murder that has happened in this book already.
See?
I think for sure that the town pinned the arson on May, and then that's just going to be throughout the whole game. It's going to be an allegory about how she's the witch and how they're like she's really innocent, and how the town's going to turn against her. And then in the end, they're like, oh, it wasn't her after all. It was this other person. And everyone's going to be like, man, this was like a witch trial metaphor.
See, I hope the town turns on you. And
You're the witch?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Oh.
it's going to.
Yeah.
The way that you're
You could both be witches. We could
figuring
both be
stuff
right.
out.
But then it actually was May because she is the witch.
I definitely think she's a witch, but I don't think she burnt the house down.
And then you drown her in a lake.
Oh,
wow.
Gosh.
I don't know. Did you read the book about tortures? You can't just torture people one way. The Book of Apologies, not the Book of Apologies, the other book, the Malefic Malcaparum or something like
Whatever
that,
it is, yeah.
has a list of ways to torture people back in that weird room. It was a little too much for me.
It was.
It was like,
a
oh.
Yeah, it was very like, oh, this isn't a Nancy Drew game. It's made for children. But yeah, that's where we are. So that's week 1 of Drew's News for all of us.
Yep.
Looking forward to playing more.
Right on.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week.
See you next week on Drew's News.
Drew's News. Drew's News.